This mower is leaking gasoline into the engine oil, even when the engine is not running. So I think there's probably a problem with the carburetor, maybe a stuck float valve needle, something like that. So I'm going to take the carburetor off and have a look inside. The way that this mower works is there is no gasoline pump. It's just gravity fed. The gasoline tank is above the carburetor. So if the float valve in the carburetor is stuck open, the gasoline can keep flowing through the carburetor into the cylinder and seep past the piston rings. And that's how it ends up in the engine oil. So I found out about this because I filled the tank full of gasoline, didn't even start the mower yet, and the gasoline was gone a couple of hours later. So then I drained the oil from this engine, and that's where I found my gasoline.
Right, let's get the workbench. Let's see if we can get this open. That's pretty dirty in there. Very dirty in there as well. I don't know if you see that. But is it actually stuck open? It is. The way it works is fuel comes in here, it fills up this bowl with gasoline. And once that bowl is full, this valve, this float, is pushed up because it's hollow, it has air on the inside, pushed up, and that pushes a little pin underneath here up. Take this out. That pushes this pin up. It's like this, the pin pushes up, and that closes that little hole over there so that fuel cannot keep flowing into the carburetor. So that way you have this one bowl of fuel ready to go, and whenever the fuel drops down, the valve will open a bit and let more fuel in. And here is that pin, and it's missing a bit. There is a little, in this case, a rubber tip that is supposed to be on top of that, and that came out separately. So those separated. So that was a problem. But there was another problem. That pin, let me show you again. That pin normally has a little hook around here. That hooks here into the valve on this. That connects them together. And that wasn't there. So someone has been in there and didn't put it back together properly. And finally, this carburetor has a third problem, and that's that the jet over here, that's on the bottom, cannot be screwed out anymore. The slot to put the screwdriver in is rounded off. It's brass, and yeah, you need a screwdriver that fits really well to get it out. Someone probably had a screwdriver that didn't really fit properly, and now no matter what I do, the screwdriver just slips off the rounded edge, so I cannot take that out and clean it properly. The other one here on top does come out, so you can kind of clean it and spray some carb cleaner in from there, but I decided to give up on this one, and I got a second-hand carburetor.
So here's the new carburetor, or well, second-hand carburetor. I took off the gasoline bowl, cleaned that out, and put a new seal for the bowl, scraping the old one out. And this one I could get both the jets out, so took them out, cleaned them with these tiny little brushes, because if there's like a little bit of dirt left in those, then the engine will often surge. So got that all cleaned up, put it back together, put it on the mower. Also got a new seal that goes between the engine and the carburetor, because that's another spot where if there's like a tiny little gap where air can be sucked into the engine past the carburetor, it messes up the fuel mixer. Got a new air filter too. And then I noticed that I didn't hook up the throttle link. So took it all off again, did it again. There's a lot of smoke at first. Maybe that's just some oil that leaked into the cylinder when there was gasoline in the oil, because the gasoline thins the oil and that way it can seep back into the cylinder head as well. So let's run it for a while, do some mowing, see if the smoke disappears. So after mowing for a bit, the smoke mostly cleared up and it mowed really well. It could even do the 1.5 meter tall grass as long as it did like no more than 1/3 of a lane at a time. It could plow through. It was heavy on the belt, of course, to do that. And the deck is still shaking a lot. So we still have to look at that. And maybe look at the electronics to make the electric start work normally instead of jumping directly on the starter motor. So that will be in the next video.